first match against Malaysia went quite smooth for us. The first game was, we didn't really had a good chance. We had, I think, 3 or 4 break and runs, so everything went, quite good for us.
We feel great. I played good yesterday. I played good yesterday. The chemistry we have yesterday is really good.
You can never be too confident because, you got to think from match to match. And right now there's only one hurdle, which is Team Canada.
We both have experience playing with them. They beat us, we beat them. We know what they play like. So we kind of know what to expect, but we're just going to play and take any opportunities we get at the table and make the best we can.
We're friends off the table, and now I got to play against them, so what can you do? Afterwards we'll be friends again.
Only 3 places in the seedings between them. Germany number 7, Canada number 10. Obviously Germany, especially when you can call on the personnel of Ralf Suke and Thorsten Hohmann, have to be regarded as the favourites. But Alex Pagulayan is a former world 9-ball champion. John Mora is a fast-rising force in the game, and a victory here for them very much within their capabilities.
Absolutely, but the Team Germany is only one of 3 teams in this competition that actually can say they won this event. Now, China's won this event, but not with the 2 players that they have now. Ralf, who you see here, and Thorsten, his partner, won this event 3 years ago in Manila. And you know full well, Phil, that when Team Germany gets its engine cranked up, they are going to be hard to stop.
First rack, race to 7, winner breaks. Germany to break.
Germany wins the lag. Thorsten Hohmann, a 2-time world 9-ball champion. He plays around the globe, and he wins regularly around the globe. Got the 2-ball down, and that will be a legal break. If you're just joining us, there's a rule here called illegal break, meaning you must get 3 balls past that white head string, we call it, the string going, the white line going across the table there. A pocketed ball counts as a ball past the head string. If not, the other team has a chance to shoot. So they're just discussing their options right here. They can see that 1 ball. So there's some options for cover here. Bringing the 1 up table, perhaps.
The other thing we must emphasise, Ted, is that in the world of pool, a race to 7 is very much a sprint, so to get off to a good start, vitally important.
I was going to say that was the other option right there. Just a little containing safety there. It's kind of a wide open table, so that was as good as he could do.
And when it comes to the tactical side of the game, Suke is right up there.
Oh, yeah. This guy's pretty good, too. Alex, from the Philippines originally, spent his formative years in Canada. Alex has been playing a bit of snooker lately.
Yes, and acquitting himself well. Okay, it's difficult to win matches on the Pro Tour. The standard is so high, but earlier this week he played in the International Championship qualifiers, and although he was beaten by Matt Selt, he made a century break. And that tells you he's got skills.
So now it'll be the turn of his partner, John Mora. He's going to bring this off the bottom rail. This could go anywhere, and he's going to leave that open. Well, not the world's easiest shot. You never want to have to hit off the rail, but Ralf should be able to negotiate this.
You're right, Ted. It's really awkward queuing the white nestled right under the cushion.
Looks like he's going into the side pocket. Forget he's going for the red 3 next, so that will afford him position on the red 3, just like that.
Made something tricky look elementary.
That's what the pros do.
Well, if Germany can win this rack, they will improve on what they did in the corresponding round last year. Suke and Dominik Jensch were whitewashed 7-0 in the last 16 by Daryl Peach and Chris Melling.
Yeah, it wasn't a good year for Team Germany. 3 years ago, however, in Manila, this very pair captured the crown.
Yes, they beat a shock team in the final, Thailand, Kanjanazari and Palajin, 10-4. But since then, they haven't progressed past the last 16. So hoping to put that to rights right here, right now.
That was a good start for Team Germany. Spot in the quarterfinals and a date with Holland. Awaits the winner of this match.
Now, maybe the side didn't bite quite as much as he wanted there, but it's only a minor thing, minor irritation.
As you can see, Germany, even with the 30-second shot clock, very deliberate. That's typical of the German style, but I tell you what, it's effective. It's often said of Ralph Suke, he logs more, has more frequent flyer miles than any player in the game. Ralph was elected to the Hall of Fame 2 years ago. And this man right here will one day join him for sure. Thorsten Hohmann takes down the 9, and Germany on the board first.
A typical rack for the Germans, looking good, looking solid. They're not the kind of individuals who partake in the spectacular, but as a unit, they are formidable.
Well, yeah, and they're very good friends. That helps.
Look at this for a record overall. In the last couple of years, they've underachieved, but they were the winners, as Ted said, in 2011. Also, semi-finalists in 2010 and in 2006, the inaugural year of the World Cup of Pool in Newport in Wales. Engert and Ortmann were the representatives then, and in 2009, they made the final. This pairing, Suke and Hohmann.
Well, that match in 2009 in Manila, to this day, I commentated on that match. One of the greatest pool matches, singles or doubles, you would ever have seen. Was seen in front of millions of people in the Philippines, packed house against the legends Reyes and Bustamante. It went right down to the wire, and the Philippines pulled it out.
Well, that's a legal break, and it's not dry, so that was good for Germany, but the fact that the one ball is blocked is a negative.
Well, it's always the one ball that they're trying to get into the side. They break from either side of the table, and that brings the one ball towards the side pocket. So the 1 and the 9 are set positions, top and in the middle of the rack. Everything else is racked randomly. Some of you may be used to seeing the 2 ball racked in the back of a rack, but in this case, the 2 ball is racked randomly and the 9 ball is on the spot, whereas in many tournaments around the world, traditionally it's been the 1 on the spot. So it's designed, the setup and the rules to make the break very difficult, unpredictable, and force the players to break the balls hard, which is much more interesting than soft breaking. So plotting a course of action here. They'll be attempting a safety. He may actually have been going for the cross-table bank, which was a very complicated shot.
There were 2 collisions here. Both of them were unwanted, not planned, and they could be costly.
You know, I think that's the shot that they were going for. Just unfortunately, the cue ball cannoned into the 6, and now Canada with a chance. And they blow it. John Morra, well, that's not good. And why that's not good, because it's 1-0, and you don't want to let Germany get on a roll. It's only a race to 7.
He caught that thick purely and simply because of sighting. He was intimidated by the close proximity of the 4 ball, didn't want to slightly overcut the 1 and make contact with the 4 first. It's a mistake that almost certainly will be pounced upon.
This is elementary stuff for these guys. You got everything out in the open. You notice Ralph, he walks to the bottom of the table. A lot of players in this situation would just, I mean, because they've done this a million times, this kind of setup. This is just like tossing balls out on the table and trying to pot them. But Ralph is a very deliberate player. He's got a certain routine. He'll always, like, you know, give it one time walk around the table. Even with the 30-second shot clock, he's still going to walk back and have a look from a different angle. Hey, it served him well in an amazing career.
Well, Jim White has often told me this, and he's a man who knows. Ralph Souquet lives his life like he plays pool. The byword, he's meticulous.
Oh. I did a story on him when he got in the Hall of Fame for magazine piece and Billiards Digest, and he said exactly that. He, you know, if you go to his house and everything is in order and in place and his schedule is planned months in advance, and I mean, he's got some schedule. I mean, this guy flies around the world constantly. He said his goal in pool is to be perfect, but he knows that there is no such thing as perfect. But his goal is to be as close to perfect as possible.
Lots of running side. Cue ball stopping in the segment of the table where Homan wanted it. Yes, he's 46 in November, is Ralph Souquet. Still a formidable opponent.
And this pace they play at, it's got to be unnerving for their opponents, because they're just stuck in their chair and it's just sort of slowly, they're being slowly strangled.
The Germans have begun this match in relentless style. They lead Canada by 2 racks to 0. The missed 1 ball there, proving decisive. Well, it's a little too early to start trotting out words like ominous, but it must be worrying for the Canadians.
Absolutely. When you're an underdog, you wanna be the one to get out to a quick lead. John Mora on your left, Alex Pagulayan on your right.
He's captured some big titles. Ted, you mentioned his world title. He's also won the World Masters in 2008, the US
Rack
Open
three,
in 2005.
break,
A very
leading
impressive
to rack
CV. And John Mora, he loves this game. They call him Mr. Smooth, improving all the time.
Illegal.
Legal break.
So you would have had 2 balls, 1 in, 1 past the head string. 3 didn't go down, so it will be Canada to shoot. But because they don't have a shot, they have the option of giving this back to Germany. It's exactly what they do.
The referee, Nigel Rees, very experienced. The players know when he's got the white gloves on, they're in very good hands.
Not exactly what he wanted. Probably got sidetracked by that spin he had to put on it. Probably he was trying to use those 3 balls as blocker balls, but I don't know if Alex can see this into the side. He's getting down like he. It's hard to tell. Probably a safety here. Yeah.
Now that an instance where the fact that a ball has got to hit a cushion dictated the shot. Had he just been able to nestle into the 2 and get the snooker that way, I'm sure he would have done it. So the necessity for a ball to hit a cushion sometimes adds an extra layer of complexity.
Well, we saw a shot like this last night. No, this won't happen. I was going to say 2-9 by luck. Lee Van Corteza. It's going to go.
Well, it's a golden opportunity and one that the Canadians, you feel, have to take.
Yeah, Alex definitely needs the bridge here. Yeah, this is common in snooker, but yeah, a lot of the pool players don't seem to like to use the rest so much.
I'll tell you what, there's a few snooker players who don't like it. The 3-time world champion, now sadly no longer with us, John Spencer, hated it.
No. So that's the second miss for John Mora. And not only did he miss it, he left it wide open. It's going from bad to worse. Alex didn't leave him with the easiest of positions there. He knows it's still his fault. He's disappointed. So now Germany staring at 3-0.
Can the Germans follow the Finnish example and complete a whitewash? No other team has done so in this year's Betway World Cup at Pool.
Well, well. The speed of the ball. You hit it at that speed, you have to hit it dead center of the pocket. These are about 4.25-inch pockets. So now, a gift back for Canada. They better not mess this one up.
What a mistake. Completely unexpected. The Germans machine-like in the first 2 racks. There, on the 6th ball, the machine broke down.
So it'll be this 9 in the side. He's had 2 misses so far. He ain't gonna miss this. Right in the heart of that side pocket. So no whitewash here. Canada gets a gift. They trail by 1 after 3 racks to Germany. Oh, slowly our quarterfinals take shape here at the World Cup of Pool. It's only going to get better from here. John Mora of Canada. There you see the 1 ball go down. Now he's got the 2 ball down. This is a great break. You'll take this every day of the week, every hour, every minute. 2 ball down, 1 ball down, legal break, and a shot on the 3.
And it just shows how quickly things can change. John Mora, quite a Q Sports heritage. His mother Anita was a ladies champion. His father Mario, I remember him well. Snooker professional. Came close to making a 1-4-7 break, I recall. I think he missed the brown on 1-2-5.
Well, it's interesting this year at the World 9-Ball Championships in Doha, Qatar. John and Mario, father and son, both played in the main tournament.
Tell you what, John is a little quicker player than his dad.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
yep.
On the snooker circuit,
I noticed that.
He was known as Mario Tomorrow because quite often he used to finish after midnight.
Good positional play there from Pagulayan. Now, Mora has had 2 terrible misses on shots like this already, so hopefully his the nerves have calmed down. There you go.
The second rest shot that Pagulayan has played. The first one was a little weak positionally, but this one should be straightforward enough. Well, that could have been worse.
Pagulayan's so short. Yeah, a lot of these, you'll see him use the rest more than most players.
Now then, this is a knee knocker.
Yeah, you don't want to be against the rail. You can only see the top of the ball. He's got to buckle down here. Oh, barely, Phil. That thing was very close to missing. However, nonetheless, it goes down and Canada gets 2 in a row.
Pagulayan in off the far jaw. He thought he might have undercut that 9 ball. His emotion there. Oh, relief. That could easily have stayed on the table, and he knows that full well. So good stuff. 4 racks played. They've been shared.
That was a break and run out for Canada. Nicely done. All right, you see the 1 and the 9 always in the same position, of course, and all the other balls are racked at random. Referee Nigel Reese just gathers them together, and wherever they end up, that's where they go.
2-2.
Illegal break.
Legal break. Control passes.
2 balls down in the pool hall. That would be a great break, but we have an illegal break roll. He needed to get 1 more down or 1 across the head string, that white line there on the right side of the table, and doesn't do it.
Yes, the 3rd ball required to cross that head string came nowhere near. That wasn't a matter of fractions. It was maybe 9 inches.
That's why these guys up in the practice room, they practice that break over and over again. The problem is the practice table is a lot different than the TV match table. They're all diamonds, except that it's the conditions, the humidity, the temperature, the air condition, that sort of thing. Changes the conditions on the table. And yes, the players are that precise. Just a millimeter can make a massive difference. So Thorsten goes safe. Oh, and he's left that on. So a long pot, and have to make sure they get it back in position for the red 3. This could be a big confidence boosting pot if John can make this. He decides not to take it on. He preferred the safety option.
Suke is a very psychologically powerful individual. He can forget mistakes and ignore what's gone before, and that's vital in sport. He needs to forget that missed 6 ball in the 3rd rack and just get on with business.
That's a cliche, but he's been there and done that. And he knows you get nothing positive out of being negative. There is no such thing as 100% perfection. It's how you are able to ride out those rough patches that determines how successful you will be. Oh, he very nearly made that. Now, what's the result? I believe Alex can see that. He certainly has the demeanor of someone who can pot it. Now, the question is, how does he get to the red 3, which is at the bottom of the table? He's going to have to bring it back, and sharply. Just like that, but you see, you got to pot the ball first.
Well, having made the mistake, Pagulayan has been fortunate. They might find themselves in trouble after this, but at least nothing easy has been left on.
Good opportunity to create some distance.
Well, the 2 ball is sticking out. It's available to the side.
Yeah, that's not what Thorsten had in mind. Again, though, even if he makes this, still has to get back into position for the 3 ball.
Extension call.
Oh no. You know, you could forgive the miss, not the scratch.
Well, this is precisely what the Germans needed.
Well, yeah, because as long as that 2 ball was out there, the 3 was always going to be tough to get no matter who was shooting. And now, with ball in hand, that 3 will be easy to get. And that'll open up the table. 3 mistakes so far from John Morra.
Suke weighing up every eventuality. What we do know is that the green 6 ball won't go past the brown 7 into that bottom right-hand pocket.
So that'll be into the side pocket. Nice delicate touch from Ralph.
Ideally, though, especially with the cue ball being so close to the green 6, Homan would have preferred this straighter. Well, no obstacles seem to exist now, Ted.
Yeah, just fundamental potting. And they'll be back in the lead. Notice that Germany's never in a hurry.
These two have won pretty much everything in pool over the years. What do you give the men who've won everything? A gift. In rack number 5, the scratch was precisely that. Germany back in front, 3-2.
They call him the Kaiser, 6-time Mosconi Cup winner, 6-time World Pool Masters champion, 2-time world champion, won the World 9 ball, World 8 ball, and is the leading frequent flyer in pool. Although Thorsten's not far behind lately. There you see the prize fund. A good one, $250,000 in total with $60,000 to the winning team. $30,000 to the runner-up. So if you win this match, you go into the quarterfinals. That's worth $10,000 for a team. Not too bad.
And knowing the analytical mind of Ralph Souquet, he will already have worked out what that is in euro.
We haven't seen that before. The one in the top right pocket there. So it's a legal break and a shot on the 2. The one was heading towards the side pocket. It hit that little knuckle and then scooted into the top corner pocket. Fortunate for Team Germany. It's funny, we all know Ralph is, you know, with the bald head and clean shaven. If you look up Ralph Souquet, Google Ralph Souquet under images, old Ralph Souquet, you will not recognize him. Got curly hair, mustache. He prefers the clean-shaven look now.
I'll tell you what he prefers as well. Racks that go like this. And we've seen it already in this match, how quickly things can change. Started off with Germany in the ascendancy, then Canada had a mini burst. Now, though, Germany re-establishing themselves and well on the way to a 4-2 lead. Mind you, after the missed 6-ball from Souquet in rack number 3, we shouldn't write off this one just yet.
Yeah, but this is just laying right out there for Team Germany. Perfect. Any team that gets the measure of the break, it's a massive advantage. We saw that with India against England B last night. They had the break going, and they parked the English pair in their chairs for 25 minutes. And in a race to 7, normally that means a victory. But England pulled it out at the wire.
The gap is 2 again. Germany 4, Canada 2.
Thorsten Hohmann. It's a winner breaks format, so Germany was up 2-0. Canada came back to tie. And now 2 in a row for Team Germany, but illegal break. He knows. Well, they needed to get a ball down. They had 2 balls past that white line, otherwise known as the head string. So Canada can shoot. Of course they will. They could hand this back if they wanted to, but they have an open shot on the 1. He'll be bringing this down table.
Sometimes in snooker you might see that shot chipped into the middle pocket, but on a pool table the cut of the middle, or side pockets as they call them, is more brutal than the corners, and consequently that clouds or influences their decision.
And the other thing, of course, that
Benson call.
influences your decision is the fact that he's got to get on the next object ball, the 2 ball. And now you're going to see a safety. Not the world's best. Ralph can kick at this ball.
Extension call.
Rather like the Filipinos when it comes to escaping snookers like this.
Well, Ralph's going to jump it.
I was just about to say, always inventive.
Got to keep 1 foot on the floor. Must keep a foot on the floor. Oh no, he's put the he's going for the regular stick now. He decided against jumping. Okay. Just didn't like the feel of that one, so he decides to play safe. Nice containing safety there.
When it comes to the top players, the very elite in pool, and they're involved in a tactical battle, they have 2 things on their side. One, of course, is execution. The other is visualization.
He's going to try to bank this. And he goes and sits on John's lap. Because, you know, he said to John, he goes, I'm going to try to bank this, but could have been a little mind game. Say one thing and do another. Can Thorsten get a little bit of this? Oh, look at that. He swerved it. Made the 2 with position on the 3. Bill, that is precision pool right there. Look at that. He swerved it around the 4. Full table, cut the 2 in. And got position on the 3. And all of a sudden the table's opened up.
And as soon as he did that, there literally was a spring in Suke's step. Ralph knows that quite often, especially in these short matches, a stroke of genius, something out of the ordinary like that, can make the world of difference.
You can see Ralph. You know, a lot of players would just get right down on this. Of course, even in that 30-second time limit, Ralph's still very deliberate.
I think for him, the 30-second shot clock does him a favour.
Oh,
it stops him being too ponderous.
That can happen in pool. A lot of players have these little ticks. When there's no shot clock, and I've seen tournaments without shot clocks, they pick up lint off the table. They move balls from one pocket to another, and sometimes don't shoot for minutes, and it is torturous. And you're right, Phil, when you put them on a shot clock, they actually play better. It forces them to make a decision. And listen, Ralph Suke is as good as they get, so he already has all the talent he needs. These guys are going to put a stranglehold on this match right here. I just don't see anything in this match that tells me that the Canadians can win here.
Homan's excellence unlocked the door in rack number 7, and Ralph Souquet did the rest. The Germans in the ascendancy to the tune of 5-2. Alex Pagulayan, always full of fun. He was delighted, at least for a few seconds, and then, of course, Homan knocked in a wonder shot and the smile was wiped off his face.
Yeah, Alex should know not to celebrate too early. Here's the shot right here. Look at the spin, curves it just slightly, then pots the 2, then uses the 9 as a blocker. Very clever.
Germany to break, leading 5 racks to 2.
By running into the 9, that allowed position on the 3. So many variables, and only a guy like Thorsten Homan can pull that off. So Ralph Souquet now. It's a legal break, but will anything go? No. But this is not the best of tables here for Canada, being down 5-2 especially. You'll notice that no open shot to a pocket for the 1 ball. Of course, they can play safe. There's a 3 and 9 cluster. That's a really good safety right there. By getting that cue ball so close to the 5, he's really limited the angles in which Homan has to use to get out. Oh, great shot. But
Foul shot?
a scratch. He was able to hit the 1, but had no control over the cue ball.
And so now the Germans looking around for possible saviours. The fact that the 3 ball is close to the 9 maybe. Even more so, the fact that the 5 is also congested. 2 and 5 uncomfortably close together. So that problem
Playing
might be solved by this, yes, and the safety as well. Well, actually, it's become a little more congested, Ted.
Trying to win the rack with the 3 foul rule. 3 fouls in a row. That would be the end of the rack. Well, they've got 1 foul in the books. Look at this shot. Cue ball's doing some traveling. Oh.
Foul shot. Go in hand.
So that is the 2nd foul. 1 more foul, and Canada will win the rack.
Yep.
Now watch this. Just tie up that cue ball right behind the 5. All he's got to do is make sure that that 1 hits a rail, comes all the way down. No, he wanted the. Oh, yeah, that's a good.
2 fouls.
He would have preferred to have the 5 and the cue together. He broke up the 3 and 9 as well. Still.
Extension called.
So you see where Thorsten, he points his cue stick.
So basically, with that 3 foul rule, Ted, the successful escape here is imperative.
If he fouls, the rack will go to Team Canada. So it's hit and pray time.
Foul shot, third foul.
Oh, you don't see that often? 3 fouls, and Canada takes the rack.
And so sometimes it's not necessary to pop the balls, just get your opponent in deep, deep trouble. And that's what the Canadians did there. If the Germans couldn't solve the puzzle, no one can.
Excellent strategy from the Canadians.
Like baseball, Ted, 3 strikes and you're out.
It will be Canada breaking next. The winner moves on to the quarterfinal and a date with one of our favorites, Holland.
Train 3 racks to 5.
They really need a break and run here. Looking good so far. Legal break and a shot on the 2. So they must get this one.
Try and come across, try and shit. We don't get perfect. We do something good. No, it makes the shot tough to make, right?
So he's going to go for this 2 here and try to leave the cue ball in a sort of that general area over on the side, hoping cue ball's going to move. So just hoping to get it right back in that position for shape for the 3. An excellent job, but still have to get on the 4. A lot of work to do. And then the 4 to the 5. So he's going to have to screw it back. Watch it move backwards. Just a delicate little screw back like that, and looking good so far, but still work to do. Yeah, the idea was to leave the angle, so you always got to have angles in pool. You have to bring this all the way back down for that orange 5. But you got to pot it first. Oh, who knows? Who knows? Ooh, living on the edge.
Well, not merely maintaining position, but the cue ball stopping ideally to give an angle to go up for the 6 naturally.
High, huh?
The Canadians, if nothing else, proving stubborn, not lying down without an almighty battle.
Winning a rack on the 3 foul rule's got to be a nice confidence boost. You can force Homan and Suke to foul out. Not bad. Well, I don't often see a 3 foul rule come into play. It's not a very common thing in pool.
Especially when Homan and Suke are victimised by it.
So this 9-ball, and Canada will pull to within 1. We've got a match on our hands at 5-4 in this race to 7. The winner goes to our quarterfinal, and the loser is out.
The other two snookers were toughies.
So there is a break. It's a legal break. 1 ball down, 2 past the white head string there. So that's legal, and Canada will continue to shoot. I believe they can see this 1 ball. It's a long, tough pot if they can. Oh, I don't know. Hard to tell. Oh, yeah. It's on. Not sure if the 2 passes the 9. That's asking a lot. That's some distance between the 2 and the 9, and between the 9 and the pocket. Could go safe. Yeah, I think they're going to go safe here.
The combination surely isn't viable. It would be far, far too risky.
That's a pub shot. They're going to go safe. Did go for perhaps a two-way shot. It was a two-way shot. Hey, take the chance and tie him up at the same time.
That was the only circumstance that allowed them to go for that combination. They knew that they could do it with a degree of impunity.
I like that description, Phil. Impunity?
The combination itself, I mean,
well done.
Just as an isolated shot, no. But with the safety element included as well, why not?
Extension call.
Oh, that's a really good safety there. And that's also well done. As good as he could have hoped for.
And so the Canadians took a big risk with the double, but it was offset by the fact they were playing a good safety, and their imaginative thinking might well have paid dividends here.
Well, this John Moore, his safety game's on the level of, let's say, a Filipino. Boy, he has really come back nicely after making 3 mistakes earlier in this match. Also, you'll notice that the 3 and the 6 are tied up, so there is not even much of a reward if you make the 2. Look at that. Foul.
Foul shot. Ball in hand. Start the clock.
Well, yeah, see, the reason they're going to go for the safety, there's no... I mean, the 3 and the 6 are tied up. Wow. Hello.
That was very clever. He played the shot off the 4 to flick into the 9 to complete the combination. Again, the word shrewd comes to mind. Years of experience.
Wow. What's the physics involved in this? He used the 4 as a guide to take the 9 into the corner pocket, and we're tied at 5. And the comeback, we said, looked highly unlikely. Well, they pulled it off. And it's all come about because of the clever safety play.
This game obviously is about technique and about nerve, but it's also about building up a bank of experience and seeing shots that maybe others wouldn't see.
The angle that he hit the 2 into the 9 would not have normally taken it in the pocket, but the physics of it, when the 9 hit the 4, guided the 9 into the pocket. You have to be very experienced to know that. Legal break. Shot on the 2, and Canada looking really nice. No balls tied up, Phil.
No, and I can assure you, by the way, that the previous spectacular shot from Pagulayan to wrap up rack number 10 was fully intentional. I heard him say to John Morra, I'm taking this into the 4, and then I realised what was going to transpire.
Wait, should they go on to win this match, that would be the shot of the match. In addition to that interesting rack in which they forced 3 fouls upon Germany and caused the loss of rack for the Germans.
Beforehand, we were running through all of the German success in this tournament over the years. Winners in 2011, the runner-up in 2009, twice a semi-finalist in addition. Canada's record doesn't stack up against that. A single semi-final appearance in 2007 in Rotterdam, Holland, when the two players were of more seasoned vintage than these two, Alain Martel and Edwin Montal.
The dancing bear, Alain Martel.
What do you want? I like being straight. Try and get me straight around here. Straight? Yes, I can rub back.
Well, some good communication now between Pagulayan and Morra. You know that shot that he hit, where the 9-ball, and it was actually a combination carom shot, which is it's very unusual. Oh, that's unfortunate. He didn't want that. Will he bank it? Or just play safe?
Tactically delivering again, Pagulayan. The Canadian experience in this year's World Cup of Pool, very different from last. At Bethnal Green, they lost in the first round to India 12 months ago. Amar Kang and Rajendal beating them 7-6 in a raucous atmosphere.
Extension called.
I have to hand it to the Canadians. This is as good a safety game as we've seen from any team. And they have really got the Germans on the back foot now. Well, that was so close to being a foul, and yet a terrific response. Oh no.
Off shot.
He didn't even hit that 6, and that is a foul, but lucky that the 6 and 8 are tied up, but looks like that goes right into the pocket.
Well, the 6 and the 8 are set towards the right-hand jaw. There's no doubt about that.
I don't know. Are they touching the 6 and 8? Oh, he's going. Well, they must have been touching because there's nothing you can do about the angle.
You know, on a shot like that in snooker, when the balls are close together, you play the opposite way to what you think. The Germans didn't there. They accentuated the problem, and as I said, they were set the 8 ball towards that right-hand jaw, and it hit the right-hand jaw heftily.
Well, I'm thinking because of Ralph's reaction, he may have miscued on that. I was thinking that perhaps the 6 and the 8 weren't lined up and may have been touching, so it may have been a miscue. Now Canada with a chance to go on the hill. Boy, they have really taken the Germans out of their game with some phenomenal safety play combined with some excellent potting in the second half of the match.
The Maple Leaf boys could be springing an upset for the first time in the contest. They lead. Their timing is pretty good. 6-5 up. The Germans 5-2 ahead at their best. Now they're facing a real crisis because not only are Canada in front, they're also breaking in rack number 12.
What a comeback. 4 straight racks at 5-2. We just couldn't see how Canada could come back. They just hadn't played that well, and Germany was on a roll. But it was that rack 8 in which Canada forced Germany into 3 fouls, and the entire complexion of the match changed.
Rack 12. Canada to break, leading 6 racks to 5.
Are the mighty Germans about to be toppled?
Oh, this is not going to be good, though. There's a chance for Germany.
Legal break, control passes.
Illegal break. And a dry break. Nothing down. Germans have the option now to shoot, or they can put Canada back in, but of course they can see this one. So they will take a shot at this. Now time to put the Canadians in a pickle.
Swung the cue ball into a precise spot, the Germans, and maybe that wasn't the only thing that was swinging, the pendulum as well.
Well, that's not the easiest of shots. It's open either way, but this is tough.
Yes, that's one portion of the shot, and the other one, of course, is the fact that position on the 2, which is hard under this top cushion, has to be obtained as well. With that hampered cueing, I don't think it's a starter.
Extension call.
That's why they've called an extension. What a terrific shot. Will he get position? Not really. If he could have avoided that 9, he would have had position on the 2.
It was a valiant attempt, but they also knew that even if position wasn't obtained and the 1 ball went in, they'd have the fallback of a really containing safety, which is coming up right now, you would assume.
So now Alex will get the jump cue. Germany's used their extension. Canada still has one. Just tried to hit that, but he's going to leave that. Well, that's going to, now I don't think that's going to be a tough pot.
Paguline walked away from the table holding his hand up. He acknowledged the fact that there he'd been fortunate.
1 less millimeter of a turn and that would have been on. But now it's going to be a safety.
The 2 definitely goes. The Canadians, there's a sense of excitement running through them.
So fortunate for Canada that that 2 ball popped its head out.
To avoid traffic there, Morra did well with that extreme running side that widened the angle.
I like being here.
So they're just discussing where to leave the cue ball. It's really what Alex is trying to figure out what John wants. Leave it there. Originally, Alex said bring it back and go in the other pocket. Could we be seeing a billiard here? Into the 9. Off the 4 into the 9. Well, the 4 was there.
Only one thing will prevent the Canadians completing victory here.
Tantalizing.
Pressure.
It was tantalizing. But that was some pot. Very difficult cut shot, and now 5 balls left on the table. Down to 4. And this isn't a monumental upset, but it is an upset nonetheless. I mean, Paguline and Moore are great players, but Homan and Souquet have won this event before, and You'd always have to figure that they would be the favorites, and at 5-2 up. 5-2 up. This is one of the best comebacks we've seen here in the World Cup of Pool. And what a time to put Canada into the quarterfinals. No, you're kidding. You're kidding.
I said the only thing that could prevent the Canadians winning was the onset of pressure. Mora wouldn't miss that in a month of Sundays.
Impossible. He tried to do too much with the cue ball. But first you have to pot it. No way. Oh, he's crushed. Devastated.
Well, so he should be. Six. Talk about getting out of jail. The Germans will go into the decider with a new lease of life. Can you believe that turn of events? John Morra, if the Canadians lose this match, will not be able to sleep tonight.
And to think they played so well from 5-2. That's just unforgivable. And that, he had 3 mistakes early in the match, and from those 3 mistakes, he played brilliant pool with an incredible display of safety. And yet, right at the end, Phil.
John Morra at the moment is like a goalkeeper who's fumbled the ball and let a goal happen that shouldn't have. He's desperate for Canada to have another chance, for him personally to have redemption.
I'm sure the Germans were already in their minds thinking about changing their plane tickets, and they were dead. Now you can basically freewheel it here if they can get a good break shot. What I mean by freewheeling, just play loose like you're in the practice room, because you're not supposed to be here. There's a ball down. It's a legal break. Will there be a shot on the one? That's the question. Ralph is looking closely. Could he swerve it?
I think the word you used a while ago, Ted, applies here. Tantalising. The 3 obstructs.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he can see it. Oh, yes, but okay. But look what they've left.
Yes, you can cheat the pocket to that extent playing at that pace, but there was no way he could think about anything ambitious in terms of position.
Even if he makes this, it's still a question whether he gets on the 3. But first things first. Oh, what a shot. What a shot from the hitman. Phil, players hate cueing from inside the pocket like that. It's very uncomfortable.
Given its context, perhaps the shot of the championship, certainly the shot of the match so far.
That'll work.
And now, Ted, John Morra is sitting there. His world gradually falling apart.
They always say in pool tournaments, once you get to the quarterfinals, anything is possible because you can catch a gear and it's just 3 matches to the winner's circle. But you've got to make the final 2 balls. Unbelievable.
And you know the cool heads of Homan and Suke will just keep it simple, try and remain serene, even though underneath the nerves will apply to them as well. No one is immune.
Two balls from a miraculous victory for Germany.
Yes, Ted. Unlike the movie, in this one, the Germans escaped a victory.
Pulling victory from the jaws of defeat. Germany was on their way out. John Mora handed it back to them. A break and run in the final rack, and Germany moves on to the quarterfinals, and a date with Holland. Canada will go home. Coming up next, another great one. It's China versus England B. Don't miss it. More action here at the World Cup of Pool in just a moment.